Hello and welcome to the lesson on active transport. Active transport is the movement of molecules against the concentration gradient through a partially permeable membrane. For this process, energy is required in the form of ATP. And because this is going against the concentration gradient, the molecules will need to be helped across by transport proteins in the membrane. Here's a reminder about diffusion. Diffusion is a passive process, which means it doesn't require any extra energy as they're going down a concentration gradient. On the other hand, active transport requires energy. Because this process is different, we're moving against a concentration gradient and we need the help of a membrane protein which transports the molecules against the gradient using energy from a molecule called ATP. In this diagram, you see the molecules on the right are at a higher concentration than those on the left. In order for a substance to travel through the membrane against the gradient, it has to pass through a transport protein shown in blue here. As the molecules enter the transport protein, a molecule of ATP comes into contact with the protein, and the energy released makes the protein change shape. So when a molecule from the left-hand side enters the transport protein, this change of shape of the transport protein will cause the molecule to be moved over to the right-hand side, to the area where there is a high concentration. So one example of active transport is in plant roots. Now in the soil, plants rely on water and mineral ions to come from the soil and into the roots. Water is actually higher in concentration in the soil than in the plant tissues, so it will go down a concentration gradient from high to low. This process will be osmosis because it's the movement of water molecules. Mineral ions, on the other hand, have to go in via active transport because the mineral ion concentration inside of the plant is higher than the soil, so we have to go against the concentration gradient, which requires energy and active transport. So, in summary, during active transport, molecules are moved against a concentration gradient from low to high concentration using energy in the form of ATP and transport proteins in the membrane.